All right, today we are diving into a really powerful message from the Anwar Institute of Hardware Leadership. And it's a message that, honestly, it cuts right to the heart of this growing, often unspoken problem in modern engineering. And it's important to frame this right from the get-go. What you're about to hear is a direct communication from the Anwar Institute of Hardware Leadership. And that right there is the core diagnosis. See, it wasn't some big single event that got us here. No, it was a slow, quiet, and pretty dangerous drift away from the things that actually matter.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Instead of relying on an engineer's hard-won, seasoned judgment, a simple series of boxes to tick somehow became the standard for good enough.
And then responsibility just got fragmented. Your job wasn't to own the outcome of the system anymore. It was just to close out a ticket and, pass it down the line.
And this might just be the most dangerous abstraction of them all. We started to believe that if it works on the screen, hey, our job is done. But reality, as we're about to see, never ever agreed to that deal.
So what's the big deal? What are the actual tangible consequences when engineering becomes something you just do on a screen instead of something you do to reality?
Well, this is reality's response. It's not a polite warning email or a little notification. It's catastrophic product failures. It's warped boards and cracked solder joints, and it's those dreaded intermittent faults that no simulation on Earth could have ever predicted. This is the stuff of engineering nightmares, and it's all born from ignoring the physical world. And that brings us to the one non-negotiable truth in this entire conversation. You can argue with a manager, you can debate a schedule, sure, but you absolutely cannot negotiate with physics. It always wins, period.
You know, this whole drift has led to the rise of something the Institute calls engineering theater. It's all the performance of progress, the beautiful 3D models, the clean simulations, the confident slide decks, but without the substance to actually back it up when it meets the real world of heat and vibration and time.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? This is the core conflict. It's about what looks impressive in a meeting versus what actually survives for a customer. And the conflict isn't between good and bad engineers. It's a clash between two totally different mindsets. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, the Institute frames it as a recalibration. It's specifically for a certain kind of professional who is ready to re-anchor their work in reality. So this is for the people on the front lines, the electronics engineers who are building things that absolutely have to survive. The PCB designers who know that copper and fiberglass aren't just magic, and especially for anyone who has had to live with the consequences of a design that should have worked.
And it's just as important to talk about who this isn't for. This is not about finding an easier way or a new shortcut. It's for professionals who get the tools are there to augment your judgment, not replace it. And it's for people who are ready to take on the deep responsibility that comes with building things for the real physical world.
So the program itself, it's not just a random list of topics. It's laid out as a very deliberate journey. It starts with a total intellectual reset. Then it moves to designing for the long haul, for year 5, not just day 1. And it systematically breaks down the walls between disciplines, all leading up to a point where engineering is reframed as an act of leadership.
Okay, so what's the real outcome? What actually changes for you? This isn't about memorizing facts. It's about fundamentally shifting how you see things. It's about developing the authority to spot risks that other people miss and the ability to make design trade-offs that you can defend, not just against a deadline, but against physical reality itself.
And I love this because it just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. Engineering isn't some clean, abstract activity you do in a sanitized lab. It's messy. It is a direct, physical engagement with the forces of nature. Every single design is a bet against physics.
And that brings us to the final word from the Institute. It's a declaration, and really, it's a challenge. For anyone who's ready to stop performing engineering theater and start building for reality, this is where the real work begins. The abstraction ends here.